Well, hello and welcome to Yoga for Everyday Endurance Athletes. We are going to start in a seated position. I'm going to get my block out because I'm old and it's easier to sit on a block when you are in what's called easy pose. For whatever reason, I just relearned that last week, that it's called easy pose. And I think that's so funny because it's usually not. Easy pose may be on a chair. But anyways, I digress. All right, so we are in our studio, our garage studio. We're going to practice our breathing. Inhale through your nose. And then inhale down into your belly. So there's two ways of thinking about it. You can put your thumb into your belly button and push against your hand when you inhale, and then relax on the exhale. Or you can just think about the waistband of your pants and push against them. It. In some breathing methods, there are actually belts that you can buy to help remind you to push against something so that you're breathing into your belly. You can also just use a yoga strap. You know, my grandmother used to wear a girdle, and I don't exactly know what that is anymore, but I think it fits around your belly. It's supposed to tuck in your belly, hold in your belly. If you were a bigger person, maybe that's what we need to have, is some kind of like little girdle to practice our breathing. Never mind. I'm back in track. So today we're going to do kind of a session in thirds. We're going to do some kind of mobilization work, and then a little bit of strength work coming up into a crescent lunge, into a triangle, and holding the triangle for a while. And then come back and do some mobilization work. So the triangle will be our key pose today. All right, so let's get this is the only challenge in being on a block, but let's bring your left hand down onto the mat and our right up. And we're just going to start to open our side body. And then inhale, come back a little. Exhale, rotate, not even rotate, just kind of open your side body. In triangle, there are several things going on, but you're not only having the base strength in your legs, with your legs both straight, but you're turned and your torso is at an angle and sideways. So you're opening up your side body, you're doing a twist, you're making your core do the work. Exhale and come over. Do one more breath. And exhale. Good. And come over. And now I'll go to the other side. Right hand down, left hand up. Exhale and come over. And so all we're trying to do here in this pose is open up your left side, as if the intercostal muscles and the other muscles that are kind of keeping us rotating and moving in our torso, we're trying to open those up a little bit. I remember very clearly that the two poses that when we started teacher training for yoga, they asked us what our least favorite pose was, and I said Shavasana because I can't sit still, but also triangle pose. And it has become, I think, one of my favorite poses because I practice it a lot. And you kind of develop that work in it. All right, now we're gonna take our left hand, bring it back, right hand on your left knee, and we'll do just a bit of a twist. So again, we're preparing for the triangle. So when you practice something over and over again, because it's really hard for you, it becomes easier. Just rotate and exhale. As you exhale, you're looking gently over your left shoulder. You're just trying to rotate so bringing your right shoulder forward, your left shoulder back. All right, let's come back to center. Find your breathing into your belly. And now bring your right hand back, left hand on the right knee. And then rotate back. One more breath. All right, come back to center. You're gonna roll forward onto a tabletop. And in tabletop, all we're going to do is some cows and cats. So in tabletop, our knees are underneath our hips and our hands are underneath our shoulders. And we'll come into a cow first on the inhale. Inhale, we're gonna drop our belly, stick your butt out a little bit, lift up your head. When you come to the end of your inhale and exhale and bring in your hips, start to arch your back and drop your head and take hands. When you're done with the inhale, the exhale, start to inhale and rotate up. Exhale. Then do this at your own pace. The goal in cow is simply to loosen up and start to open up your spine a little bit. But in our case, it's also to practice our breathing and moving while we breathe. Inhale in the cow. Exhale in the cat. And let's come back to a neutral spot into your tabletop. Extend your hands and we're going to come into a puppy pose. And in puppy pose, the goal is to open up your shoulders and create a little bit more of a back bend. All right, so if you need to, having a block can be handy for your forehead. But the goal here is to inhale, lift up your shoulders a little bit, and then exhale, let your collarbones come to the mat. This causes any shoulder issues for you, you always have your elbows down and just do the same thing to kind of stretch out your triceps and your shoulders. Exhale, bring your collarbones down. Inhale up. Exhale, collarbones down. Good. Let's come back up into a tabletop. And all we're going to do is leave your left hand where it's at. We're just going to raise your right hand up into a bit of a twist. And it's not going to get very high. There's a lot more we could do with this, bringing your leg through and doing some little floor gymnastics, but we're just trying to exhale as far back as we can. Inhale and exhale, just to get our shoulders and our torso starting to work. This is how triangle is going to be. It's rotating your shoulders up. Good. Let's come back. And now with your left hand, same thing. Take an inhale and exhale up. Exhale. And inhale down and exhale and rotate. One more. All right, extend our hands, come into a downward dog. Just for a moment, I'm going to slide on this. The only downside of the cork mat is that my feet slide. All right, in downward dog, we're just going to be here for a minute. And inhale, come up on your tiptoes, exhale, come on down. Tiptoes, inhale, exhale, drop. Good. Look to the top of the mat. Let's walk our feet forward into a forward fold. And then we'll inhale into a half lift. Exhale into a forward fold. And let's go all the way up into mountain. And then hands together, exhale, down into heart center. All right, so in this pose now, we're going to step back into our crescent lunge pose. So this is the more strength part of our class. And so in crescent lunge, let's inhale and take a step back with our right foot. And come back to, something that's pretty comfortable, but something that you can do. And both feet, so your right foot, which is back, and your left foot, which is forward, are pointing forward. In the warriors, our ankles dropped, but in crescent lunge, we're forward. So push back on your heel. A little bit of balance that comes in with this. And then let's get our arms up in the air. So we have a few things that we're working on. So the inhale is to maybe relax the pose, straighten your leg and lift your torso forward. Then the exhale is to bring your left knee bent and bring your shoulders back as your arms are up. Just keep pushing back on your back heel. So you're going to feel this in the front of your right hip, in your hip flexors. The strength is all, the isometric strength is in your left glute and left thigh. Your torso is holding up straight. Your shoulders are doing a lot of work. It's like warrior one. It's the same pose as warrior one, except your ankle is not rotated. So we're getting more mobility in our hip flexors, more lengthening in this pose than we do in warrior. A couple more breaths. It's getting tiring. Good, okay. Now, let's inhale, drop your heel, your right heel, rotate your hips and arms. We're going to come into a warrior two, just for a moment. We're going to inhale, straighten your leg. Exhale, straighten your front leg. Reach with your left hand and come down into a triangle. Now, if you have a block or a book, you can use that here. So, clothes because it's getting warm here, which is surprising. So in triangle, we're trying to bring our left elbow inside our left knee and then bringing our right shoulder up. So we're not only creating this big strength in our base, especially in our left butt cheek and left thigh, but we're rotating our torso and keeping our torso upright. So the inhale is dropping your right shoulder. The exhale is bringing your right shoulder back and seeing if you can drop your left hand at all. So the goal is to have your torso parallel to the floor, or your left hand on the floor, and your right hand pointing up at the ceiling with your right shoulder stacked. That's the goal. I don't come anywhere close to that. I don't think I ever will, but that's okay. I'm farther than I used to be. Just keep moving with your breath. Breathe into your belly. Breathing into your belly is the key, or breathing through your nose, to help you through the discomfort that you might be feeling. And just keep working through it. Good. Now slowly roll up. Left foot is just going to roll forward, and we're going to come into a wide stance forward fold, just to relieve some of the pressure in your glutes. So this is bringing your hands down, and every exhale is just relaxing. Inhale is lifting up your torso a little bit. And exhaling. You might also feel this in your hamstrings. Now let's roll on up. We're going to do our feet rotation now so that our right foot is pointing forward. Also, I'm going to remove the socks for a moment because I'm sliding around. So now my right foot is forward and my left is back. My right knee is bent over my right ankle. And I'm pushing back with my left heel. Raising my arms up. All right, so now, whoa, just working on catching my balance here. The inhale is just bringing my arms back. And exhaling, creating a back bend and reaching behind me. Arms back. Pushing on your back heel. Good. One more. Good. Now let's rotate around, drop your back heel. We'll come into a warrior two. All right. Now, in this warrior two, we'll inhale, straighten your right leg, and then exhale. And we're going to reach forward with our right hand and then drop it, come into our triangle on this side. So now our right elbow is inside of our right knee. And sometimes this takes a little while to get into, like I'm just bringing my foot back a little farther. So again, the inhale is to drop your left shoulder and thereby relaxing your torso. And the exhale is rotating it back. Now we're not moving a lot this morning, that's okay. Couple more breaths here. Good, now roll back up, bring your feet forward. So you're in a wide stance, come back down into the forward fold. Bring your hands to the mat if you can, otherwise keep them on your legs someplace to support you. The more that you can have your hips over your ankles, the better off you are just hinging forward. So then, even if your hands are not on the mat, bring them to the mat and bring your feet back. We're going to come into the downward dog. And then from here, we're just going to come in to a pigeon pose. So bring our right knee forward. Drop your knee to the ground and then roll your ankle around and drop your left knee. So I'm going to come sideways this way. And I'm going to bring my left knee back as far as it'll go. And my back of my left foot, so the top of my left foot is on the mat. And we're going to do some mobility work with our hips. And I think we've done these before. So we're going to inhale, and I'm going to roll my hips to the left. So my left hip is rolling forward. And then on the exhale, I'm going to bring it back down. So my right butt cheek comes to the mat. And inhale to the left. And then exhale to the right. So we did this last night in our Yoga for Recovery. And it really helps build mobility in your hips because it lengthens and works the muscles in your right glute, but also in the front of your left hip. So you're actually just trying to rotate and bring your butt cheek close to the mat. All right, now what we're going to try and do, just for fun, is in King Pigeon. So bring your right hand in front of you, so it's kind of in front of your knee. Bring your left ankle up, rotate it around and see if you can get a hold of your, your ankle. This is a lot to ask in a morning class. Let's see if you can come into it.
Oh, Nelly. And if you know, if you can, it's not a big deal. And let's do this for a second, just for giggles. And I can hear you laughing. Good. And release that. All right, now let's bring your hands forward, bring your legs back into a downward dog. And let's inhale, bring your up in your tiptoes, and then bring your left knee forward, rotate it around, and we'll come into a pigeon on this side. This is an upright pigeon. All right, bring your knee back. It's kind of like scooching your knee back as far as it will go, as far as you're comfortable going. All right, now we're going to inhale. Right hip comes a little forward and rotated. And exhale, bring your left butt cheek to the mat. And just as you're bringing your left hip towards the mat, you are just relaxing it and letting it come down and opening. Excellent. All right, how are we doing on time? Perfect. Okay, now bring your left butt cheek down, roll your foot around. We're going to come into a butterfly. Just to finish things off. So in butterfly, bring your soles of your feet together, big toes together. Just going to inhale and roll forward. Exhale. I just did that backwards. Sorry, because I'm about to sneeze. So inhale up and then exhale, roll forward. Talk about getting distracted by a sneeze. And then inhale up. So again, like we've always done with butterflies, we're just not pulling, we're just falling forward, even reaching forward. So you can even do that with your hands and just bring them up and reach. Do this to one more. Good. Let's bring your feet back into the easy position, into a seated position. Bring your hands to your side. Inhale, bring your arms up and hands together to top. Hands together, exhale down into heart center. And I am grateful for your presence here this morning. Thank you for doing yoga. Namaste. Thanks for joining us. Come and check out the website for coaching and strength training and more yoga. We meet Thursdays as well at 6 p.m. Yoga for endurance athletes. And then we also have yoga recovery on Monday nights. And we also have a yoga strength course for endurance athletes. So let's talk. Give me a call, set up a virtual coffee, and we will talk about your goals. Take care. Have a good day.